Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tuba Shakil, roll number BP1650240, group number 11. My topic is clinical use of diuretics. Before discussing the clinical use of diuretics, let me tell you what are diuretics and why we are using diuretics. Diuretics, commonly called water pills, these are the class of drugs that increase the amount of water and salt expelled from the body in the form of urine. So these are indicated in the hypertension, chronic edema, secondary to congestive heart failure, diabetes insipidus, cirrhosis and kidney diseases where there is excessive fluid retention. So we can give diuretics. Now we have types of diuretics. Types of diuretics including carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, SGLT2 inhibitors, loop diuretics, thiazides, potassium sparing diuretics, osmotic diuretics, vasopressin, ADH antagonist. First, we have carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. They work by inhibition of the enzyme, prevent the dehydration of carbonic acid and hydration of carbon dioxide in the PCT. The drugs include acetazolamide, brinzolamide, dorzolamide, and these are indicated in glaucoma, mountain sickness, edema with alkalosis. Next is SGLT2 inhibitors. The drugs include canagliflozin, dapagliflozin, and empagliflozin. These work by inhibition of the sodium glucose co-transporters in the PCT, resulting in the decreased sodium and glucose reabsorption and ultimately the increased expulsion of the sodium and water from the body in the form of urine. These are indicated in diabetes mellitus and specifically approved for hyperglycemia, not as diuretic. Now we have loop diuretics. The common diuretics include furosemide, bumetanide, and torsemide. They work by inhibition of the sodium, potassium, chlorine transporters in the ascending limb of loop of Henle, and these are used in peripheral edema, heart failure, hypertension, acute hypercalcemia, and anion overdose. Next is thiazides, including hydrochlorothiazide. They work by inhibition of the sodium chlorine transporters in the distal convoluted tubule and are indicated in hypertension, mild heart failure, nephrolithiasis, nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. Next is potassium sparing diuretics, including two drugs, spironolactone and amyrolide. Spironolactone is an antagonist of aldosterone in the collecting tubules, and that's why it is indicated in aldosteronism from any cause. These are also indicated in hypokalemia due to other diuretics, as diuretics can cause hypokalemia. Now amyrolide. Amyrolide blocks the epithelium sodium channels in the collecting tubules, and it is also indicated in hypokalemia from other diuretics. And it also tends to reduce the lithium-induced polyuria. Now we have osmotic diuretics and we have common diuretic mannitol, which work by osmotic effect on the tissue water distribution because it is retained in the vascular compartment, and it is indicated in renal failure due to increased solute load, increased intracranial pressure, and glaucoma. Now we have last class including vasopressin ADH antagonist. The drugs include conivaptan and tolvaptan. Conivaptan is an antagonist at V1A and V2 ADH receptors, while tolvaptan is a selective antagonist at V2 ADH receptors, and both are indicated in hyponatremia, while tolvaptan can also be used in SIADH. Now we have mechanism of action. The diagram clearly showing you the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors acting at the proximal convoluted tubule, while thiazides acting at the distal convoluted tubule, while loop diuretics acting on the ascending limb of loop of Henle. Now we have case study. Mr. WD, a 42-year-old Afro-Caribbean man, presents to his GP with 6 weeks history of headaches and lethargy. On examination, the following is noted. Dipstick, proteinuria, blood pressure 180 by 105 mm of Hg, serum creatinine 365 micromole per liter, serum urea 15.8 millimole per liter, while his weight is 98 kg and height is 180 cm. Now Mr. WD was prescribed nifedipine 30 mg once daily and enalapril 10 mg twice daily to treat his hypertension. After 1 week's treatment, his BP was still only 150 by 85 mm of Hg, but the patient was complaining of very swollen ankle. He also mentions that he developed a persistent cough, which medication should be added or replaced. So we have subjective, including chief complaint, medical history, and medication history. The chief complaint can clearly seen that he is complaining about hypertension, swollen ankle, and persistent cough. Medical history includes 6-week history of headaches and lethargy, while medication history includes nifedipine 30 mg once daily and enalapril 10 mg twice daily. Now we have objective. The objective include vital signs, lab reports. Gender male, age 42 years, weight 98 kg, height 180 cm, BMI 30.2 meters square per kg. While his vital signs include BP 158 by 85 mm of Hg, which is not in normal range. The lab reports clearly shown us the proteinuria, serum creatinine 365 micromole per liter, serum urea 15.8 millimole per liter, while CrCl 32 ml per minute. Now assessment. Mr. WD's swollen ankle and persistent cough are indicated of fluid retention. As his BP is still high, fluid retention is due to the hypertension. So, fluid retention has resulted in pulmonary edema and that will lead to the persistent cough. Now, plan. A diuretic should be added to his medication to get rid of extra fluid that has resulted in edema, as I already told you that the diuretics are used in where the cases are extra fluid retention is there. WD is a kidney compromised patient, so we should have to be careful in deciding the diuretic. We cannot use here the thiazide diuretics because these are not giving us result in kidney compromised patients. So we have the choice of loop diuretics. Why we are using loop diuretics? Because the loop diuretics are safer in renal impairment patients and they work efficiently. We have the loop diuretic furosemide that is prescribed 40 mg per molar once daily. Monitoring, because we have kidney compromised patient, so we should have to monitor continuously his serum creatinine level and urine protein concentration, and we should also have to monitor his BP. If it is remain above the normal level, we should further prescribe medicines. Advice. WDT should be advised to reduce fluid and salt intake. He should exercise regularly in order to get a better lifestyle and to reduce weight. Thank you.